Hello guys, welcome back to the Oat Milk Lesbians.
Welcome back.
Today's episode is about lesbian bed death.
Is it real?
Is it real? So what's the definition of lesbian bed death? We have not searched that up.
Why are we doing this episode? Is because for two reasons. Lesbian bed death is a very talked about topic in the community, and at the same time, it's also like something that a lot of lesbians believe like eventually happens. But I have to say, both of us don't think that's true. So what is a lesbian bed death?
So lesbian bed death refers to the phenomenon where lesbian couples experience a decline in sexual frequency or stop having sex altogether, particularly in long-term relationships. It suggests that as lesbian relationships mature, sexual activity decreases, sometimes leading to a complete cessation, I don't know how to pronounce that, of sexual intimacy. However, this is not a universal experience, and many lesbian couples maintain a healthy and satisfying sex life throughout their relationship. I'll be honest here, like for me, it existed in the relationship that I did not have chemistry with the person whom I did not have chemistry with. But the people that I have chemistry with, it doesn't happen. I think like over time, of course, like maybe the sex gets a bit boring or whatever, but I don't think that there's any situation in which you would not want to have sex with your partner. Unless you're actually not attracted to them or not interested in them, or you have no chemistry. Because even though like, if you're in a long-term relationship, right, I think even, you get a little bit bored here and there, but you will always like learn to spice things up if you're actually interested in that person. That's what I truly believe. So for context, right, I'm saying this because like my previous relationship, I've said this many fucking times. I got into that relationship out of insecurity. I was not actually attracted to this person, and I don't think that person was actually attracted to me. I don't think so. We did not have chemistry in any way whatsoever, whether it was talking, whether it was in bed and all of that. We just didn't have any chemistry. And I think for me, on my part, I got into a relationship because I was insecure. And on their part, I think they just wanted a relationship and they had this ideal of me, right? So that's why I said that like with particularly that relationship, it did happen. We were not having sex at all, like at one period in time. It would be quite rare. And I think it's also because, we were just tired of each other lah. That's it lah.
Do you feel like the bed death was mutual or more on your end?
Mutual. Actually, I think I was the one who wanted the sex more, actually.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so on their end, they are the ones who was kind of like, I don't want lah, like tired lah, and all of that.
Didn't you say like part of it is because of the drugs?
Yeah, part of it was because of the drugs as well. But I think that, I don't know, it's hard for me to speak on their behalf because to me, I thought like people who smoke up a lot, they would enjoy having sex while they're high because it hits different. That's what I heard.
Yeah,
like,
actually though.
Yeah, so I don't know, but then it could be specifically to that individual how they are normally like when they're high, because they said that like when they're high, they normally don't want to do anything. So it could be that as well. But I can even see that even if there was no weed or whatsoever, it still would have happened anyway, because I don't think they actually enjoyed being around me also. And we're just not compatible and we did not have chemistry. Like that's just full stop.
Oh, really?
So with
they
or
didn't
without.
want to be around you?
Not to say that they didn't want to be around me lah. I think you remember the time like when you had like the coming out party a couple of weeks before that, like they said that like, oh, I want to take some more space to myself because I just got a new job and everything and all of that, and I want to focus more on that. To me, I saw it as like, okay, this is a person who's prioritizing something else in their life, which I think is valid. But that whole space thing happened for quite a while, and the whole like cheating thing happened alongside that, and the whole like not wanting to have sex also happened alongside that. So I just kind of associate them together. Like to a certain extent, like them wanting space to prioritize their job, I do believe there's truth to that. But I also believe that that was not the only reason. So actually on my end, I was the one who was also trying to initiate sex more, but I was obviously unsuccessful at that. And to be honest, it's because I felt like very disconnected from this person. That's why I was trying to use sex to kind of cling on to this person and to also at least feel some form of connection, because I couldn't reach out to that person in any other manner anymore. Like emotionally, spending time with that person, everything. Like I just was not successful in connecting with that person in every other aspect. So like I used sex as the only other method, my last resort to try and have an emotional connection with this person.
Were they like somebody who prefers sex as a form of connection? Like in the past, prior to the bed death thing happening?
To be honest, also with their past partners, it was the same thing. Like it all ended the same way.
Oh.
It's like don't feel connected anymore. They don't feel like they cared anymore. Like they were not having sex anymore. They were not spending enough time with each other anymore. Yeah, it all ended the same way. Yeah.
Okay.
So I think it does exist, but it only exists when you are not interested in the person. When you actually don't have chemistry with the person, when you are actually like you don't like the person for them. That is when it happens. That's what I believe.
Did you feel like when you were initiating sex and everything, it was very forced or it was very difficult?
I think it was difficult. I think it was because I already knew that like okay, they told me already like, oh when I'm high I normally don't like engaging in sex. But then I would still try. I would still try to initiate, but then I would be unsuccessful with it still. So I think because they were high every night, and if you tell me you're high every night and when you're high you don't feel like having sex, right? Then what the fuck am I gonna do? Like obviously I cannot, right, initiate. So there was actually no chance for me to actually have sex with this person at all.
Yeah.
So yeah, I had no way around lah. Basically like the relationship was already dead lah at that point.
Yeah, I actually 100% agree. I think like the bad death thing is only something that happens that okay for me I would think about the times where I don't feel like having sex with a partner, and a lot of it is when we have issues, to be honest. Contrary to popular belief, Aries do not have angry sex. But then the reason why like I was not like feeling sex, because also like it's very emotional to me, and I guess same for you too, even though like you were reaching out to connect, but in a way that's emotional lah, like you want to connect
Yeah.
emotionally. It's like emotional for me, and I feel like if I don't feel like I no longer feel safe, and I no longer feel like this person is someone I see a future with, then I feel like the sexual attraction will just be gone.
Yeah.
Because it's just very like connected in that sense. I think the bad death thing happened to me for like maybe my second ex, but then again like we were already like having our own issues, and we were having problems towards the end, and like these problems are more of they're like threatening to our relationship. So I feel like when that happens, it's like I get turned off to have like relationships. And to be honest, even don't just talk about like bad death lah. I feel like when I'm not like when there's these kind of issues that are like threatening to the relationship, I cannot even orgasm anymore.
Yeah, I
Like,
get it.
yeah, you know, and I feel like that is so telling, because then you feel like you're just not
Yeah, you're
with
not.
that person.
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah, and I don't think it's just a matter of not being interested. I think it's when you have issues with the person.
That's true.
Yeah, like you don't want to be intimate with them, because you only want to be intimate with someone you obviously feel like okay, like attraction is one thing, but then like you are only intimate with a person if you feel like, oh, I still want to like choose to be vulnerable with this person, and like
That's
I
very
want to
true.
be safe with them, blah blah blah.
That's also very true. Yeah, I think yeah, I agree with that also.
Yeah,
That makes a lot of sense.
I think like the bad death thing, a lot of people, okay, we're supposed to show you guys statistics. How often does lesbian bad death happen? Okay, let me Google. How often does lesbian...
To be honest, it's a little bit hard for us to comment as well because like our relationships have not been very long. Like the longest relationship I've personally had is like 2 years, and half of it happened during COVID, so like we couldn't even see each other. And then the other relationship that I had with another woman was about like 1-ish years, so it's not... I would say that they're not considered long-term relationships, like not long enough for me to like personally experience like okay. And also because I have a very bad like, what's the term that Wyming always uses? The term where he was like sample size. I have sample,
yeah.
I have a very bad sample size, and also I feel like only 1 out of the 2 women that I've dated are people that I actually liked during when I was like dating them. Obviously I don't like them anymore, but like, so it's very hard to comment as well because I have not been in a relationship longer than 2 years with somebody that I actually like, who I'm compatible with and have chemistry with. So it's a little bit hard to comment as well. Yeah, based off of experience. Okay.
You see, it happens after 2 years on average in most relationships, which is normal. However, this is why having a purpose higher than sex makes staying... Girl, I'm always horny. Like, I just don't think like... I don't know, if this is somebody that you are spending like the rest of your life with, and if after 2 years you don't want to have sex, it's a bit much, yeah? And I don't believe that. I believe some people, they are horny forever for each other. And that's gonna be me.
Yeah, I think... Because I feel like, okay lah, the whole like asexuality aside and all of that, and people's varying libido levels, right? Generally, humans are kind of like sexual beings as well. So like, let's just like put aside people with lower libido levels. I believe that my libido isn't very high also actually. But even with a lower level of libido, I still wanted to have sex. Yeah, I would say like compared to yours also, mine is like a lot lower lah, I feel. So it's like, in general, if you love the person, you would want to have sex with them.
Yeah.
Like even if it's a little bit boring, it's fine. Like,
Yeah.
I don't think it actually... Like, I think it only happens if, like, what you said, there's issues, and secondly, if you don't love that person.
I want to see pussy every day. The fuck?
Okay.
Yeah, anyway. Yeah, you see, like, a lot of people say, like, I don't think it, but it's very, very common. And then, like,
Because you all just keep getting into relationships with people you don't actually like,
yeah,
just for the sake of
actually,
getting
though.
into relationships and having the high.
You see, and then, like, some people are saying here, like, oh, it was fantastic for the first 6 months. It was fantastic in the first what. Of course, it's always fantastic in the beginning, lah. It's a new person, right?
Yeah.
But it's like, you see, that this is the problem when you guys say that we are being overthinking on the relationships. But sometimes you really need to do SWOT analysis.
And you need to think more.
You can't just take in every fucking Tom, Dick, and Harry you see on the street and then be like, yay, first 6 months is amazing. Why do I suddenly now have lesbian bad death? Yeah, but you know, lesbian bad death aside, I think it's very common for I think a lot of gay men agree that they also have bad death, but their resort to that is polyamory, like open relationships. Not polyamory, wrong term, guys. But open relationships, and because they say like, yeah, it happens like after a while. But I feel like in that community, it's like it's more accepting for these things to happen, and hence open relationship. But I think in the lesbian community, I think maybe less on open relationships lah. But at the same time, I also just feel like, I don't know lah. Are we too young to comment? I don't think so. But I feel like there has been a lot of stories about people who still like want to jump on each other even after being like decade together.
Yeah, I think, we can revisit this topic again in a few years' time, like in maybe 10 years' time. I don't fucking know, right? Like, because you never know, maybe by then we would have like relationships that last longer than 8 months. Sorry, 6 months for you? 8 months?
1 year.
Okay, it will last longer than 1 year for you. It will last longer than 2 years for me. Then we can like revisit this topic again.
Yeah, but I would be so sad if lesbian bad death happened to me.
I don't think it will.
Yeah, I don't think it will also lah. But like, it's such a sad thing to tell people and to think that it's not a myth. I still want to believe that it's a myth.
I think it's a myth. I think it's a myth. I mean, it depends on how you approach relationships. Whether it's a myth or not depends on how you approach relationships. I just think it's your approach at the end of the day.
Actually, I want to revisit the thread that says that the higher purpose blah 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 thing. So basically, this thread is saying that like, this stereotype is common. Is it because a reason why people say lesbian bad death happen is because women have like less testosterone and like don't have drive. And I feel like this is such a misogynistic thing. I think when people say that, they buy into the whole like gender thing, but it's not true. I think if anything, women are more sexual than men. And women just don't talk about it. Okay, just because women are not necrophilic or bestiality and everything, or they want to fuck everything they see.
And just because women have self-control.
Yes. It doesn't mean that our sex drive is lower.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah, but that is a common argument I see a lot about the lesbian bad death, because women in general don't have like high sex drive, but that is so not fucking true.
Yeah, actually though,
Girl, it's insane work to say that.
Actually, I think women also do have very high sex drive, higher than men sometimes, comparable to men sometimes, depending on the person. It's just that men are a lot more open about it, and men seek out ways to satisfy that desire more than women do.
Yes.
And I think because women in general, like let's just imagine in a hetero space, women are more susceptible to STIs. And it's more harmful for women as well to be going around having sex in comparison to men. Women are generally just going to be more careful about it.
Yeah.
And also because of the danger that it poses to women when they go out and have sex with men as well. Like, not just like in sexual health terms, but in terms of their safety and all of that. Like, there are so many factors that women have to consider. Of course, they're not going to straight up be like... And the thing is that when women are openly, like, very open about their sexuality and their sex drive and shit like that, they're going to get bashed on the internet. They're going to be called whores. So women are 100% going to, be more cautious, and they will not share as much one. Confirm. But sex drive-wise, I think is comparable to men.
The fact that there are so many OF creators should tell people enough that women are just as horny as men. Doesn't matter whether they are creators and they are doing it for like money. You wouldn't be doing all of that also like if you are not at least like horny, right? Like, you can't just be like posing there and then you're not horny. To a certain extent you are, and you are catering to like the audience, but this is a different topic altogether lah. Yeah, anyway, this thing was saying something about how like having a purpose higher than sex makes staying together and more excitement possible. Like, you know, if you're both into something like saving the education system, protecting the honeybee population or something. Yeah, okay. Yes, to a certain extent, your relationship needs to be more than sex, but I don't think this saves lesbian bad death. I don't think wanting to save the education system will make you guys attracted to each other again. This is so funny, actually.
I think this is in the scenario that their solution is towards being accepting of lesbian bad death. Not to avoid it, but to be accepting of it when it happens.
Yes.
But I guess if you try to save the education system, that's really hard too.
It's a myth. 20 years together goes up and down. Actually, I believe that. I mean, it's the same thing like if you guys argue, like, do you want to still have sex? Maybe. But like, if you're in the middle of like something very heated or whatever, like, of course your feelings to each other is not sexual at the moment. But also like, yeah, this person is like, I'm gonna go against the grain a bit. This might be a downer, but I think it's really stress. I love being a lesbian, but Jesus is stressful sometimes. Yeah, between socio-economic factors and local politics threatening my partner's hormone access, it's a wonder if I ever get in the mood. Okay, I never considered this.
Okay, so basically they're saying that there's a lot of things that are going on that you do not have the time to think about sex.
Yeah. Actually, yeah, it could be a very possible factor too, because when, like, okay, let's say for example, if you're depressed, you will definitely have low sex drive. But I don't think that's a lesbian bad death thing. I think in this context, it's more like all the lesbians are eventually going to be not having sex after a few years.
But okay, it does make sense, because like let's say life is going to life, right? And then at different periods in your life, you're going to experience stress in different aspects of your life at varying levels. When your mind is so full of all these things, it's true, actually, you're not going to really, sex will not be on the top of your head. But it could be different for people as well. They're going to be like, I've had a fucking long and hard day. Let's just have sex right now.
Yeah.
It could be different.
Someone is saying here about how, sometimes, it seems that way because straight men feel entitled to their wife's body that lesbians do not. So straight women may feel more pressure to have sex even when they don't want to. I've never considered that perspective, but yeah, it's a good one. But I also think it's like you stop having sex because you don't like each other lah.
Yeah. I really think that was
yeah.
It's one of the bigger reasons, I feel.
I mean, these women are basically pressured into having sex. It's the same thing. You don't want to have sex with your partner. And what it's just telling us is that lesbians understand consent. Honestly, it's just a natural progression of human relationships, straight or gay. No. I don't think it is. The term was coined by a sex therapist, and somehow I think the concept was heavily perpetuated probably by the patriarchy because it's devastating to men that women can find sexual satisfaction without them. Actually, yeah, perhaps. Now, when some lesbians do experience sexual incompatibility with their partner, they use this term. And I think it's little anecdotal because people are more likely to post on Reddit about their sex life problem than brag about how they're still having sex after X amount of years. True, if I'm having sex banging every day for 10 years straight,
yeah, I'm not going to be on Reddit. real, actually though.
Yeah. I've never experienced it, and I was once in a 13-year relationship, consistently sex at least once a week on average, and now I'm 5 years with my current partner, consistently sex 4 times a week on average.
Holy shit, that's a lot of sex.
That's a lot of sex.
Wait, how do you have time for that?
Yeah.
That's a lot of time.
Yeah.
Once a week is a lot of time for me already. Because lesbian sex takes a really long time, right?
Yeah, maybe that's why also, it takes a very long time.
And then people get busy and shit like that.
Yeah. But lesbians literally fuck longer than straight people. How can you say lesbian bad death is a real thing? We'll be fucking for 3 hours.
Yeah, real. Anything less than that is...
It's not real.
It's not sex. It's not sex. It's not sex. Minimum 3 hour sex. Can you imagine sex for straight people only lasts 30 minutes? That is
crazy.
That is a very short Netflix episode.
Yeah.
That's a Modern Family episode.
No, actually though.
It's good. It's so short to a point where when Netflix is gonna be you know how Netflix always asks, are you still there?
Yeah.
That shit ain't even gonna fucking pop up.
Nar.
Yeah, lesbian bad death doesn't really exist. I don't feel like it does lah. When you approach relationships the right way.
Yeah.
It doesn't happen.
if you have been in a long-term relationship, please let us know.
Yeah, because
But-
we have not.
But also, like, I'm so curious for people who have been in a long-term relationship. How do you stand knowing that you and your partner have bad death? Like, I don't know if I can still be with someone if we have bad death. I'm not gonna lie.
I think that if you really love that person, you would reignite the passion.
Yeah,
I don't
exactly,
think-
you know?
I don't think that. I don't
Like, you
think.
wouldn't just stay there and be, like, complacent. Okay, we have bad
Yeah.
death, that's it lah.
Yeah, correct. The two of you, if the two of you love each other and you care about each other, you will put in the effort to reignite it, and it will work.
Yeah.
It will work one. Yeah, that's what I personally believe lah.
Yeah, I think it's possible to be horny for, like, someone forever.
Yeah, real. Even with a Libra Venus, I'm fucking saying this.
And with someone who's low libido saying this.
Low libido, Libra Venus, having a crush on 4 people in 6 months.
Yeah. Dude, maybe we should stop using this term.
It doesn't exist.
It
Lesbian
doesn't
bit there?
exist. Yeah, it's
nah.
not real.
It's not real, it's not real. 23 minutes.
Oh.
Not too bad, guys.
Not too bad, yeah.
Not too bad. Hey, actually, I feel like we're getting a bit more efficient at covering topics.
Yeah,
y'all.
we are. I think because we are just like, this is the point, ABC, done.
Yeah, I mean, good lah. It's a good thing lah. I mean, I know y'all like to listen to us yap a lot, and we do love yapping.
We just stopped going off tangent.
I mean, it's fine to continuously go off tangent. Today, we're just not going off tangent because we're both sick. But on a normal basis, we will go off
tangent
tangent
all the time.
a lot.
We just had one podcast episode before this, as usual.
2? Oh no,
Yeah, we have
one off-camera podcast episode. In between every podcast episode that we film, we always have one podcast episode unfilmed off
Yeah.
camera. So even when we're sick, we're still yapping.
Yeah. Do you know anyone who had bad death?
No,
Who else had bad death? Just you?
I don't really know of anyone. Me and my exes.
You and your ex's exes?
My ex, punya ex. So
because they all had bad death with
that person. So we all know the problem is that person. Yeah, guys, it doesn't exist unless you're not interested in that person, and it depends on your approach to the relationship. More of the story. I think you all just need to date people that you like
Yeah.
and whom you actually love.
There are like so many ways you can spice things up, you know. You know, sex, you don't need to read the Kama Sutra, you just use your imagination. Someone was saying in the thread just now, like, yeah, you know, of course later down the line you wouldn't be bending over the sink and everything. Just do it. Just bend over the sink again. Like,
Yeah,
who's
just put in
stopping
the
you from
effort.
bending over the sink? You can just
Yeah.
do whatever the fuck you want.
Yeah, actually,
Free
that's
will.
so true. That's so true. Free will. If you don't do it, then at this point, it's just your choice.
Right. It's like, okay, what? Just because you've been together like 3 years in, then you must do it on the bed now? Who says you can't do it in the bathtub? Who says you can't do it on the kitchen table? Who says you cannot do it on the sink? But make sure you sanitize all of it before you have guests over. Who says you cannot do it on the couch? Who says you cannot do it in the car? You can do it everywhere, right?
Yeah, actually, you can.
Oh my god, this thing is not real lah. But I
Yeah.
will say one thing. I think one thing that makes bad death happen is if you move in too fast together. Like, I feel like that is real because like you move in too fast together, you're seeing each other all the time. I feel like sometimes when you burn things so hard in the beginning, it really does die down.
That's true.
Because like then you are just like how to say, you're seeing each other every day, you know. Okay, I think like if you like slowly progress to that and slowly progress to like cohabitation, I don't think the bad death thing will happen. Like if you do everything so fast together, you've done everything there possibly is to be done. And also if you don't bother to create the spark, that's when it happens. And you're seeing each other every day, and then like maybe you get the ick about some things. You
Yeah.
don't like slowly get to know them first and everything.
Yeah.
But then it's like rainbows and sunshine at first, and then afterwards you take out the rose-colored glasses. 6 months in, then you're like, actually, I have 10 icks about this person that I did not previously address. Yeah, actually, this just took a different turn lah.
Everything takes a different turn.
Yeah,
Every episode we record.
takes a different turn.
God bless. Anyway, y'all,
That's the end of the episode.
that's the end of the episode. We are getting very efficient at this, also partially because we're sick. Y'all have to excuse us because the editing takes a really long time when the episodes are really long. So we're just trying to make it a little bit more sustainable for us to be doing this
Yeah.
long term as well. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. Remember to buy us coffee. We're still
Stream.
sick. We're still sick.
70 ringgit for meds each person,
Yeah,
by the
70
way.
ringgit for meds. Yeah.
So that's 140 ringgit.
Yeah.
Make sure you buy at least 140 ringgit worth of coffee for both of us.
Yes.
Times 2 episodes, so actually that will be 280.
We've recorded 3 episodes so far.
3 episodes, so that will be
420 ringgit.
Yes.
Yeah. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. We'll see you in the next one.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye. Oh my god, Batman is...
Yo, it's 4 o'clock and we